The following is a partially complete list of titles of works taken from Shakespearean phrases. It is organized by type of work. Some titles appear in multiple categories and are marked with ++. Note that this is not the place to list film or television adaptations of Shakespeare's plays. The List of William Shakespeare screen adaptations exists for that purpose. Drama: Antony and Cleopatra, Salad Days. Musical by Julian Slade, As You Like It, All the World's a Grave. A new play by William Shakespeare by John Reed, As You Like It by Natchiguru Narul Moman, the pioneer Bangla playwright. Hamlet, Q for Passion by Elmer Rice. 2. E for Chance to Dream musical by Ivan Novello. 3. I. The Mousetrap by Agatha Christie. 3. E. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. V. E. Much Ado About Nothing, Sigh No More, musical review by Noel Coward and others. 2. E. Othello, Journey's End by R. C. Sheriff. V. E. Also occurs in Twelfth Night. 2. E. Passing Strange, musical by Stu. I. E. The Sonnets, Fortune and Men's Eyes, two different plays. 29. The Tempest, The Isle is Full of Noises by Derek Walcott. 3. E. Twelfth Night, Present Laughter by Noel Coward. 2. E. Improbable Fiction by Alan Ayckbourn. 2. E. Film, As You Like It, Under the Greenwood Tree, 1918 film. 2. V. Under the Greenwood Tree, 1929 film, All the World's a Stooge, 1941 short by The Three Stooges. Play on All the World's a Stage. Quote. 2. 7. Hamlet, Murder Most Foul, 1964 film with Agatha Christie's Miss Marple. I. V. Leave Her to Heaven, 1945 20th Century Fox adaptation of William's novel with Gene Tierney. I. V. North by Northwest, 1959 film by Alfred Hitchcock. 2. E. To Be or Not to Be, 1942 film, remade in 1983 by Mel Brooks. 3. I. Outrageous Fortune, 1987 film written by Leslie Dixon. 3. I. Perchance to Dream animation by Lauren Kimball. 3. I. What Dreams May Come, 1998 adaptation of Matheson novel. 3. I. The Undiscovered Country, 1991 Star Trek film. 3. I. Alas, Poor Yorick, 1913 film starring Fatty Arbuckle. V. I. The Quick and the Dead, 1995 film by Sam Raimi. V. I. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, 1990 adaptation of Stoppard play. V. E. The Rest is Silence, 1959 film. V. E. The Rest is Silence, 2007 film. Henry IV, Part 2, Chimes at Midnight, 1965 film by Orson Welles. 3. E. Julius Caesar, Cry Havoc, 1943 MGM film with Margaret Sullivan. 3. I. The Dogs of War, 1980 film. 3. E. The Evil That Men Do, film. 3. E. The Serpent's Egg, film. 2. I. The Ides of March, film. King John, Twice Told Tales, 1963 film. 3. IV. Macbeth, Mortal Thoughts, 1991 film. I. V. Something Wicked This Way Comes, 1983 film. IV. I. The Sound and the Fury, 1959 film. V. The Merchant of Venice, The Quality of Mercy, Hassan Jag vor lauter Fayet Gibts Kinderbarmen, 1994 Austrian film. The Quality of Mercy 2002 film, starring Mary Louise Parker. A Midsummer Night's Dream, Ill Met by Moonlight, 1957 film by Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger. 2. Ill Met by Moonlight. 1994 film by S. P. Somtow. 2. Richard II. The Demi-Paradise. 1943 film with Laurence Olivier. 2. Richard III. The Winter of Our Discontent. 1983 TV movie of Steinbeck novel. Where Eagles Dare. 1967 film. The Sonnets. Fortune and Men's Eyes. 1971 adaptation of John Herbert's play. 29. The Tempest. Full Fathom 5. 1990 film. Rough Magic. 1995 film with Russell Crowe and Bridget Fonda. Rich and Strange. 1931 film by Alfred Hitchcock. Troilus and Cressida. Good Riddance. 1979 film. 2. The Winter's Tale. Fresh Horses. 1988 film by David Anspaugh. Other. The Passionate Pilgrim. 1984 film with Eric Morecambe. From The Passionate Pilgrim, the title of a 16th-century anthology attributed to Shakespeare. Music. Antony and Cleopatra. Salad Days. Album by Adrian Belew. Salad Days. EP by Minor Threat. Salad Days. Album by Mac DeMarco. As You Like It. As You Like It. Album by Friedrich Gulder. All the World's a Stage. Album by Rush. 2. 7. Hamlet. Infinite Jest. Album by We Are the Fury. V. I. The Rest is Silence. 1996 album by Randy. V. E. This Mortal Coil. A project led by Evo Watts Russell. 3. I. The Chameleon's Dish. A song from Invisible Silence by Art of Noise. 3. E. Henry V. Band of Brothers. 2009 album by Only Men Allowed. IV. E. Band of Brothers. 2012 album by Helia. IV. E. Julius Caesar. The Dogs of War. Song by Pink Floyd. 3. I. Dogs of War. Album by Saxon. 3. I. Beware the Ides of March. Song by Colosseum. Macbeth. The Moon is Down. Album by Further Seems Forever. 2. I. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Album by Iced Earth. IV. I. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Album by The Herbalizer. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Quote. A song by Susie and the Banshees from the B-side of The Killing Jar. Something Bitchin' This Way Comes. Album by Lock Up. Something Green and Leafy This Way Comes. Album by SNFU. Something Wicked. Song by Tupac from album Tupacalypse Now. Something Wicked. Album by Nuclear Assault. The Merchant of Venice. The Quality of Mercy. Album by Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel. The Quality of Mercy is Not Stranen. Album by the Mekons. Quality of Mercy. Song by Michelle Shocked. Much Ado About Nothing. Sigh No More. Album by Dog Age. 2. E. Sigh No More. Album by Gamma Ray. Sigh No More. Album by Mumford & Sons. Othello. The Beast with Two Backs. Album by Incubus Succubus. I. Pomp and Circumstance Marches by Edward Elgar++. 3. E. Richard III. Now is the Winter of Our Discotheque. Album by Princess Superstar. Parody of Now is the Winter of Our Discontent. Quote. I. Where Eagles Dare. Song by Iron Maiden. I.E. Romeo and Juliet. A Rose by Any Other Name. 1975 album by Ronnie Milsap. 2. E. The Sonnets. Nothing Like the Sun. Album by Sting. CXXX. The Tempest. Full Fathom 5. Album by Clutch. I.E. Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. Album by Anal Nathrak. I.E. Sea Change. Album by Beck. I.E. Troilus and Cressida. Good riddance. Time of Your Life. Quote. Song by Green Day. 2. Novels. Short stories and nonfiction. A Midsummer Night's Dream. A Midsummer Night's Dream by Andrew Harmon. Title. Ill Met by Moonlight by W. Stanley Moss. 2. Zettel's Traum. Bottom's Dream. By Arno Schmidt. IV. Antony and Cleopatra. Her Infinite Variety by Louis Auchincloss. 2. Music Ho. By Constant Lambert. 2. V. Beds in the East by Anthony Burgess. 2. Vi. Gaudy Night by Dorothy Sayers. 3. XIII. As You Like It. Under the Greenwood Tree by Thomas Hardy. 2. V. And All the Stars Are Stage by James Blish. From All the World's a Stage. 2. 7. The Lie Direct by Sarah Woods. V. IV. Coriolanus. The Exile Kiss by George Alec Effinger. From Oh, A Kiss, Long as My Exile. V. E. Hamlet. 2. Two Solid Flesh by Nick O'Donohoe. I. E. This Above All by Eric Knight. I. E. Something Rotten by Jasper Ford. I. IV. The Glimpses of the Moon by Edith Wharton. Edmund Crispin. I. IV. There Are More Things by Jorge Luis Borges. I. V. More Things in Heaven by John Brunner. I. V. And Be a Villain by Rex Stout. I. V. The Celestial Bed by Irving Wallace. I. V. Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick. I. V. Murder Most Foul used by several different mystery writers. I. V. Leave Her to Heaven by Ben Ames Williams. I. V. Method, or Madness, by Robert Louis. 2. E. How Like an Angel by Margaret Miller. 2. E. How Like a God by Brenda Clough. 2. E. Her Private Suite by Frederick Manning. 2. E. Also published as The Middle Parts of Fortune. Psalm and Ancra. 1916. Referring to the same section of 2. E. On Fortune's cap we are not the very button. Then you live about her waist. Or in the middle of her favors. Single quote. 1. 2BRO2B by Kurt Vonnegut. 3. I. What Dreams May Come by Richard Matheson. 3. I. This Mortal Coil by Cynthia Asquith. 3. I. Mortal Coils by Aldous Huxley and A Mortal Coil by Jeffrey Lang. 3. I. For Chance to Dream by Robert B. Parker. Howard Weinstein. Star Trek: The Next Generation novel. And Perforced to Dream by John Wyndham. 2. 3. I. With a Bare Bodkin by Cyril Hare. 3. I. The Name of Action by Graham Greene. 3. I. All My Sins Remembered by Joe Haldeman. 3. I. Single Spies by Alan Bennett. IV. V. Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. V. I. Put On by Cunning by Ruth Rendell. V. E. Henry IV. Part 1. I Know a Trick Worth Two of That by Samuel Holt. Pseudonym for Donald E. Westlake. 2. I. Tarry and Be Hanged by Sarah Woods. I. E. Time Must Have a Stop by Aldous Huxley. V. IV. Henry V. Servile as Sin by Ben Aaronovitch and Kate Orman. 2. IV. Band of Brothers by Stephen Ambrose. IV. E. Henry VIII. The Long Divorce by Edmund Crispin. 2. I. Julius Caesar. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. From The Fault. Dear Brutus is not in our stars. I. E. This Little Measure by Sarah Woods. 3. I. The Dogs of War by Frederick Forsyth. 3. I. The Evil That Men Do by Nancy Holder++. 3. E. There Is a Tide by Agatha Christie. Also known as Taken at the Flood. IV. E. On Such a Full Sea by Chang Ray Lee. IV. E. King John. Twice Told Tales by Nathaniel Hawthorne. 3. IV. England Have My Bones by T. H. White. From Heaven Take My Soul, and England Keep My Bones. IV. E. King Lear. Childe Roland to the Dark Tower Came by Robert Browning. 3. IV. The Lake of Darkness by Ruth Rendell. 3. V. Every Inch a King by Harry Turtledove. IV. Vi. Speak What We Feel, Not What We Ought to Say by Frederick Buechner. V. E. Macbeth. Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett. I. E. etc. The Seeds of Time by John Wyndham. I. E. Fatal Vision by Joe McGinnis. 2. I. The Moon Is Down by John Steinbeck. 2. I. Wash This Blood Clean From My Hand by Fred Vargas. 2. E. A Heart So White by Javier Marias. 2. E. Light Thickens by Nio Marsh. 3. E. Let It Come Down by Paul Bowles. 3. E. Fire, Burn by John Dixon Carr. IV. I. Fire, Burn and Cauldron Bubble by H. P. Mallory. IV. I. A Charm of Powerful Trouble by Joanne Horniman. IV. I. By the Pricking of My Thumbs by Agatha Christie. IV. I. Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. IV. I. Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Charles Sheffield. V. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Kurt Vonnegut. V. All My Yesterdays by Cecil Lewis ++. From All Our Yesterdays. V. Brief Candles by Aldous Huxley. From Out, Brief Candle. Quote, V. The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. From It Is a Tale Told by an Idiot. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Quote, V. Taste of Fears by Margaret Miller. V. The Way to Dusty Death by Alistair MacLean. V. Tutti I Nostri Ieri. All Our Yesterdays, or A Light for Fools. American title, by Natalia Ginsburg. V. The Merchant of Venice. The Quality of Mercy Autobiography of Mercedes McCambridge, and others. IV. I. A Pound of Flesh by Thane Rosenbaum. Chapter from Rosenbaum's book The Myth of Moral Justice. The Serpent of Venice by Christopher Moore. Othello. Passing Strange by Catherine Aird. I. E. Nothing If Not Critical by Robert Hughes. 2. I. Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. 3. E. Mortal Engines by Stanislaw Lem. 3. E. Pomp and Circumstance by Noel Coward ++. 3. E. Richer Than All His Tribe by Nicholas Montserrat. V. E. Richard II. Bid Time Return by Richard Matheson. 3. E. This Blessed Plot by Hugo Young. Richard III. The Winter of Our Discontent by John Steinbeck. I. Tomorrow in the Battle Think on Me by Javier Marias. V. E. Romeo and Juliet. What's in a Name? By Isaac Asimov. 2. E. Inconstant Moon by Larry Niven. 2. E. The Sonnets. The Darling Buds of May by H. E. Bates ++. 18. Chronicles of Wasted Time by Malcolm Muggeridge. CVI. The Pebbled Shore by Elizabeth Longford. Lux. Summer's Lease by John Mortimer. 18. Remembrance of Things Past by Marcel Proust. Only in English translation. XXX. Where Late the Sweet Birds Sang by Kate Wilhelm. LXXIII. Absent in the Spring by Agatha Christie. XCVIII. Nothing Like the Sun by Anthony Burgess. CXXX. No More Dying Than by Ruth Rendell. CXXXXVI. The Tempest. Sea Change by Richard Armstrong. I.E. Sea Change by Robert B. Parker. Sea Change by James Powlock. Something Rich and Strange by Patricia A. McKillop. I.E. Into Thin Air by John Krakauer. IV. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. V.I. This Rough Magic by Mary Stewart. V.I. Every Third Thought by John Barth. V.I. Timon of Athens. Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. IV.E. Troilus and Cressida. Arms for Oblivion series of novels by Simon Raven. 3.E. Twelfth Night. Cakes and Ale by William Somerset Maugham. 2.E. Sad Cypress by Agatha Christie. 2.E. To Play the Fool by Laurie R. King. 3.I. Poetry. Hamlet. Very Like a Whale by Ogden Nash. 3.E. Julius Caesar. The Hollow Men by T.S. Eliot. IV.E. King Lear. Childe Roland to the Dark Tower Came by Robert Browning. 3. IV. Macbeth. Out by Robert Frost. V.I. The Tempest. Full Fathom 5 by Sylvia Plath. I.E. Full Fathom 5 by Samuel Menashe. I.E. Pearls That Were by J. H. Prynne. I.E. Television. Antony and Cleopatra. Sam Peckinpah's Salad Days episode of Monty Python's Flying Circus. As You Like It. All the World's a Stage. Ugly Betty episode 2. 7. Hamlet. Less Than Kind. 2008 television series. I.E. Thine Own Self. 1994 Star Trek. The Next Generation episode. I.E. To the Manor Born. 1979-81 television series. A play on To the Manor Born. I.V. Remember Me. 1990 Star Trek. The Next Generation episode. I.V. The Conscience of the King. 1966 Star Trek episode. 2.E. The Paragon of Animals. 1998 Babylon 5 episode. 2.E. Perchance to Dream. 1959 The Twilight Zone episode. 3.I. Perchance to Dean. 2009 The Venture Brothers episode. Slings and Arrows. 2003 Showcase Original Series. 3.I. Outrageous Fortune. 2005-10 television series. 3.I. Mortal Coil. 1997 Star Trek. Voyager episode. 3.I. Henry V. Once More Under the Breach. Star Trek. Deep Space Nine episode. 3.I. Band of Brothers. Miniseries based on book. IV.E. Henry VI. Part 2. The Main Chance. 1969-75 television series. I.I. Julius Caesar. Not to Praise Him. The Bill. The Dogs of War. Star Trek. Deep Space Nine episode. 3.I. The Dogs of War. The West Wing Season 5 episode. 3.I. King Lear. How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth. Star Trek animated episode. I.V. Macbeth. Dagger of the Mind. Star Trek episode. 2.I. All Our Yesterdays. Star Trek episode ++. V.V. All Our Yesterdays. UK television historical news programme of the 1960s-70s. V.V. The Burnham Wood. The West Wing episode Season 6. I.V.I. etc. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Ugly Betty episode. Something Walmart This Way Comes. South Park episode. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Charmed episode. Something Wicked. Supernatural episode. Something Rick This Way Comes. Rick and Morty episode. The Merchant of Venice. The Quality of Mercy. Babylon 5 episode. IV.I. Quality of Mercy. The Outer Limits. I.XIV. A Quality of Mercy. The Twilight Zone episode. 3. XV. The Quality of Mercy. Early Edition episode. A Goon's Deed in a Weary World. 30 Rock episode. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Ill Met by Moonlight. 1996 episode of Gargoyles. 2. Othello. Futurama. The Beast with a Billion Backs. From The Beast with Two Backs. 2. A Beast with Two Backs. 1968 television play by Dennis Potter. Journey's End. Star Trek. The Next Generation episode. V.E. Journey's End. 2008 Doctor Who episode. Richard II. The Hollow Crown. 2012 television adaptation of the Henriade. 3. Richard III. My Kingdom for a Horse. 1988 BBC TV series starring Sean Bean. V.I.V. Romeo and Juliet. What's in a Name? Quote, Hercules. The Legendary Journeys episode. 2. By Any Other Name. Star Trek episode. 2. Such Sweet Sorrow. Episode. 2. The Sonnets. The Darling Buds of May. UK TV comedy based on H.E. Bates' novel. 18. A Waste of Shame. 2005 drama. CXXIX. The Tempest. Sea Change. Transformers episode. I.E. Other. Antony and Cleopatra. Salad Days. Manga. Hamlet. The Mortal Coil. An Adventures in Odyssey 2-part radio episode. 3. The King of Shreds and Patches. Interactive fiction by Jimmy Marr inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. 3. IV. Henry V. Household Words. Magazine. IV.E. Julius Caesar. Dogs of War. Comic book series. 3. Dogs of War. Battle on Primus IV. Computer game. 3. The Merchant of Venice. A Pound of Flesh for 50p. 2014 artwork by Alex Chinneck. A play on Pound of Flesh. 3. E.A. Passam. The Tempest. Full Fathom 5. Painting by Jackson Pollock. I.E. Doctor Who Unbound. Full Fathom 5. 2003 Big Finish Productions Doctor Who audio story. I.E. Come Unto These Yellow Sands. Painting by Richard Dadd. I.E. A more comprehensive list of book and play titles which are Shakespearean quotations.